Okay, so I was in the middle of drawing this and I realized that I only had a 15-minute time limit. So the last part that I showed you guys was drawing the clocks and adding the marks. I did quite a bit after that I didn't realize wasn't getting recorded. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all what I did. So after I drew the clocks, I drew these circles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I do not want you guys to draw your circles in the same spot as me. You can draw them anywhere on your page. So for example, this was my first sketch and this is my second, and I put them in different spots. So once you draw the circles, you're going to erase off any part of the circle that would cover over the wall or the floor. All right, so anything that's inside that circle gets erased. So it used to look like this, and now I'm just going to erase the wall behind the circle. This makes them look opaque, where you cannot see through them. So if you need to pause at this point to draw your circles and erase the wall, go ahead and do that. The next step is to draw the Renee-inspired eyeball. So I do want everyone to draw the eye in the same place. Draw the eye in this back window, and then make sure it looks like it's going behind your floating spheres. All right. The way that I did that is that I just drew the eye lightly with pencil, and then again, I just erased anything that is inside the sphere would be erased. So I just drew that back to give y'all an idea. Sorry, I forgot about the 15-minute timeline. Recording time. It kind of makes it difficult sometimes. All right, so now we should be on the same page. As a surrealistic artwork, there is definitely an element of chance and difference. So this is where I want you guys to kind of get crazy with it. In this window, I want you to do a gesture drawing of a human form or an animal form. So you can pick a human dancing, a ballerina. You could pick a hip hop dancer, a football player, whatever. You could pick one of the sculptures in my classroom, but I want you to do a really quick line drawing of them. So I just drew what looks like someone bowing. And then we're going to do a dolly-inspired pieces of lines floating away from them. Whatever you do in this section is going to set the mood for your artwork. So mine looks maybe kind of sad or maybe kind of reverent, maybe possibly a bow or somebody worshiping. So whatever you draw, I want you to make sure that that shows the emotion that you want your artwork to have. So I'm going to look up a picture on my phone and find a picture of a dancer. And that's what I'm going to reference. All right, so here are the pictures. Let's go ahead and use this one. All right, so I'm going to do a quick continuous line gesture drawing of this dancer. Actually, it's not going to be continuous line. It's just going to be line. All right, so that looks pretty cool. It doesn't look just like her because it is made of gesture line, but you get the general point. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding various blobs and lines that reflect the mood. So I wanted to make it look like she's kind of floating away, kind of graceful and smooth. So I'm going to start adding some kind of related lines in the background. All right, that seems pretty good. So this side is done. It's going to be line and done. All right, so on this side, it's going to be random. So I want you to put whatever random thing you can think of that goes with the mood of your piece over here. So I did a dancer on this side, and then we've got time. So I think I'm going to draw a flower over here. You guys can draw your favorite food, a scene from a movie that makes you feel something, really whatever. It just needs to go with the what we studied this week about surrealism. All right, so I think I'm going to draw a flower here. It's going to be kind of a sad flower. I don't know why, but I think this artwork is giving me kind of like a depressed feeling. Maybe because it's going to be black and white. Maybe because the surrealistic artwork is a rebellion against a terrible war that was going on. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of have the leaves be like wonky. Don't copy what I'm doing. Please come up with something yourself. I know that each of you is unique and different, so our ideas should be unique and different too. All right, so there's my random object over here. And then to fill the space more, I'm going to go ahead and add some stamen. Cool. All right, so we're about 7 minutes in. I'm trying to do better to keep track of time. Now we're going to get started with our shading. So I'm going to draw a light source somewhere here. I think my light source will be right here. Here's where the sun is, and I'm going to draw that light so I can erase it off later. The first thing I want to shade will be my spheres. So if I was going to shade, the light would be shining down through here. There's a wall here, so part of the light in this area will be blocked off. And there's an eyeball here, but we're not going to block any light off for that. We're just going to say it's fine. So here will be my lightest point. Here will be my midtones. And here will be my darker tones, darkest tones. All right. So let's get started with shading. And let me show this. This is kind of how I block out my different sections, and then I work with that. So this is what we practice. We practice shading spheres, so now we're putting those spheres that you practiced to use. The rest of this project is basically going to be various levels of adding shading and value to your work. Since we're going to be doing so much shading on this paper, you may want to cover your hand. You can see mine's already getting dirty, so I'm going to grab an extra piece of paper and put it under my hand as I work so that I don't smear everywhere. If you have various shading pencils at home with different weights and darknesses, use those for this project. You'll want to use the darker leaded pencils, of course, for the darker parts of your work, and the lighter leaded pencils for the lighter parts of your work, just correspondingly. So I've got my dark and my medium. Now I'm going to go for my light. All right, and now I'm going to blend my medium into my light a little bit. All right, so now I have my first sphere shaded, the first 3D looking piece on this. We have about 5 more minutes on this, so I'm going to show you guys how to roll a tortillan, which is also called a blending stick, so that you don't have to blend with your fingers or anything else. So basically, if I remember right, you just start in the corner here. Oh gosh. Yeah. And then you get that to be really smooth. And then you just roll this whole piece of paper into basically a stick. And then you tape it. And then you can use that to blend with, because the paper gets kind of smudged and it smears the graphite around for you. Oop. It's kind of difficult. I'm not really very good at it, but I do want to do this so that I don't have to pay. Oh, dang it. This whole side is really, oh well. I don't know if I'm doing it right, so I think I might have to have a square piece of paper instead of rectangular like this. Let me try again. I think I'll try once more because I'm running out of time. I don't want to waste time. Oh my gosh. Dang it, I messed up. It has to be tight or you'll just have like a loose piece of paper to blend with. You don't want that. Oh yeah. Wow, this is a mess. This is a mess. But you know what? I'm being kind of harsh on myself. It's not like I do this regularly. I don't shade very often with a blending stick. So we're just going to say that's probably as good as it's going to get. I'm going to cut off the hollow end. There is some way to make it to where it's not hollow, but again, I forgot. So, oh well. Okay, so I'm going to use this blending stick and start to blend. I don't know, it works. Haha. See how much smoother that is on that side? Wonderful. You can see. We might have to spend 2 weeks on this project because I think that